Hello, this is Mark from Farm Pest Management. The other day, I received these in the mail from Orion the Iguana Hunter. Cheers, Orion, I really appreciate it. They take the place of your FX Impact internals, and they're designed for slugs. On the farm, I like to shoot the Nielsen specialty ammos, and I like to run the 43.8 grains. But they were still turning inside my magazine and still jamming when I was walking around the farm. So I decided to try the larger NSA 47.2 grains, and they did the same thing. Now, keep in mind, I love these slugs. They're absolutely fantastic. But I needed something that would work. And I didn't want to buy the original aluminium version of this. I was told that that would solve my problem. I went online and I found out that people were still having problems with it. So Orion came up with the answer. And it's really easy peasy to change this out. Let me show you how. Okay, first off, I would definitely suggest a towel or some sort of flannel, because inside here you have two tiny little ball bearings and two tiny springs, and in the back you have the nut and an O-ring. So first off, I like to mark where the spring is coming through on one of these four little holes. And in this case, it's right up here, up top. So I put a little mark right there. Now, let's take this apart. Put your finger underneath the nut and start unscrewing this. It's a 2.5 millimeter Allen. And it doesn't take much to take this off. Whoops, there goes the the nut, and inside there you'll have an O-ring, but we'll wait for that. Let's take this off first. And right there are the tiny little ball bearings. So I'm going to flip those into my hand, and inside there's also the tiny little springs. Put those aside. There's the nut. And then in the back here, there's the O-ring. Put that aside. Now careful when you take, I'm going to take the lid off first. When you take this off, there's a spring loaded. So, oh, there you go. There's a larger spring inside there. All right, put that aside. We're going to take Orion's fabulous new piece that goes in here, and in there's a tiny little hole right here, and that's where the arm of this spring goes. So push that in there, like that. And then you have those four holes here that you put the other arm of the spring in. And in this case, it was the one up top here. So I'm going to go like this. And that's done it. Now, all you need to do is preload the spring, lift it over that tiny little hump while holding everything together. I'm gonna do two, because I think that'll be about right. Let me see. You have to figure out what spring tension is good for you. That feels good to me. Now let's start putting this back together. I like to put the back in first, put the O-ring inside, put the nut in the back, and then put the springs in. And then carefully put the ball bearings back in place on top of the springs. Yes. Then the bolt goes in. Simply just push it straight down and then get that 2.5 Allen and tighten it down. Again, don't over tighten, just very snug, and that's it. Make sure it turns. Give it a little bit more. There you go. There it is. Let's load it up. Let's give it that preload. Drop our first slug in. And then start loading. Wow. Very nice. These are not going to turn or jam because the fit is very snug, but yet there's plenty of room for them to feed. Lovely. Put the lid back on. Turn it. There you go. Well done, Orion. Absolutely brilliant. A nice bit of kit. I put a link to Orion's website down below. Check it out. Thanks very much for watching. I hope that was helpful to you guys. Please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Cheers.